Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a year of makeup empties. All of the makeup that I used up in 2018, and I actually started like tracking this or like keeping all of my makeup empties in about March or April. So there's a few that I missed out on. I know specifically like there's a couple of like makeup mists that I had finished up. Outside of that, I can't really remember the first few months, but nevertheless, the amount of makeup that I used up from like March or April to the end of the year had a value of over $1,000. So I'm really happy that I was able to get some use out of my makeup collection rather than just letting it sit there and look pretty. And I'm really excited to do this kind of project, if you will, again next year and see if I can use up even more next year. So if you guys are interested in seeing all of the makeup that I used up in 2018, as well as hearing like the value, the amount of like primers I went through and how much like money worth of primers I used up, then just keep watching. Alright guys, so behind me on my desk I have all of the makeup that I used up in 2018. Again, I started tracking my progress around like March or April, so not quite the whole year, but we're gonna pretend it's the whole year. And I've added everything up, the value of each product, and I have a total amount that I used up that I'll let you guys know at the end. But we're just going to jump in and go category by category and talk about how many of each category I used up, what the value was, etc, etc. Okay, so starting with primers, I used up 5 different primers last year, and surprisingly most of these are minis. I found that to be really interesting. I have, well, 2 are minis and 3 are full size, excuse me. But let's jump into the minis first. First I have the Farsali Unicorn Essence, which I'm considering to be a primer because I know that's how a lot of people use it. It can also be used as a serum, like serum slash primer. This again is just the mini guys, so this is worth $20. This was okay in my opinion. I may repurchase this, may not, we'll see about this. Then I also finished off the Smashbox Mini Photo Finish Primerizer, which I really loved. This retails for $15. This is one of my favorite primers and I'm definitely going to be repurchasing this. And then the other 3 full-size primers, I finished off the Ren Perfect Canvas. This is like kind of like a finishing serum as well as a primer, and I liked this. It just wasn't like a love for me. I just have other primers that I prefer over this, but again, if you like a serum slash primer, I would recommend checking this out. I believe Ren Skincare is all certified clean beauty at Sephora, so definitely a cool brand to check out. I recently finished off the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Dewy Face Primer. This was not a favorite. This retails for $4.99, so definitely a cheaper primer. Super luminous, like really artificial looking. Not one that I'm going to repurchase, but glad that I was able to give it a try. And then finally I finished off the First Aid Beauty Coconut Skin Smoothie Priming Moisturizer. I love this primer. It's probably my top, or one of my top, for sure one of my top primers. I definitely plan to repurchase this, but I'm trying to be better about not having so much of each category in my collection at a time, so I'm trying to finish off a couple other primers before I repurchase, but really like this. This was $28, so that means for 5 primers I used a total of $112.99 worth of primer this year, and I'm really excited. I've already got 2 going in, or 2 planned to go on my 19 and 2019 project pan, so definitely looking to finish off some more primer next year. Okay, jumping into foundation, I actually finished off 12 foundations last year. I think part of it is because I was really close to finishing some of them off at the beginning of the year. And I definitely have some that are pretty close to being finished off too, but let's just jump in. First I have the Urban Decay Naked Skin One and Done. This was my 2nd or 3rd bottle of this, and I used to really like this, but not the biggest fan of this anymore, so I don't know that this is one that this is definitely not one I'm going to immediately repurchase. I'd rather find a lighter coverage foundation that I like better than I do this one right now. And this one retails for, I think, $34. This year I also finished off my Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. I'm sure you all know this is a super expensive foundation at $64. This was not a foundation that I super loved. I definitely bought into the hype of this, and that's why I purchased this. So I kind of like made myself finish this because it was so expensive. Not one I'd recommend, not one I'm personally going to repurchase. I know a lot of people love this, just not a personal favorite of mine. Finished off 2 of the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue Tinted Hydrating Gel Creams. These, again, I used to really like, not like the biggest fan of anymore, but I want to try these again. I feel like mine had started to go bad, which might have been the reason that I started to not love these so much. Definitely want to give these another try this year and see if I still like it, but not going to immediately run out and repurchase. These retail for $30 a piece. I also finished off a Too Faced Born This Way foundation. I really love this foundation. I have another one of these going in my collection right now, and it's actually the foundation I am wearing today. It's a really great foundation, one that I love, and I think I'll continue to repurchase over and over and over again just because I really love the finish that it gives. I like the coverage, just a really great solid foundation. And this one retails for $39. The last two high-end foundations I had finished up was the Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation, which retails for $43. Used to really love this, but towards the end of this I was really forcing myself to just finish this off, not one I plan to repurchase. And then I also finished off the Smashbox Studio Skin 15-Hour Wear Foundation. I do plan to repurchase this one. I really, really like the way that this one lasts on the skin as well as the finish. But I'm just trying to work through some of my other foundations before I repurchase this. I love to wear this one in the summertime, so I can see myself probably picking another one up during the spring and summer, and I believe this one retails for $36. And then I have 4 drugstore foundations I finished off. The first is the L'Oreal Lumi Cushion Foundation. This retails for $16.99. I already have another one of these going in my collection. I really love this foundation for the summertime just because it is lighter weight, and these are really easy to travel with. And then if you need to touch up, it's super easy to touch your foundation up with this. So love that for that purpose. One of my favorite foundations of all time is the CoverGirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir Foundation, and I also have 2 more of these in my collection. One I just recently started using, and the other one I'm almost out of too, so I almost had 2 of these as empties for the year. And then I pulled this one back out for a project pan this year. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless foundation. I ended up really liking this and purchasing another one after I finished this off. So I do have another one of these in my collection. This one retails for $7.99. And pretty much one of my favorite foundations ever, the L'Oreal Pro Glow. I've also recently fallen in love with the Pro Matte. This one retails for $12.99. I have 2 more of these in my collection, plus I have 2 of the Pro Mattes in my collection right now. So overall, I just really like the L'Oreal Infallible foundations. I really think you can't go wrong with a lot of drugstore foundations. I don't feel like foundation is, I mean, yes, you can splurge and you might get a longer lasting foundation, but I do feel like the drugstore offers quite a few really solid options for foundation, which is amazing. A lot of my favorite foundations are actually drugstore rather than high-end, so just thought I'd throw that out there. So like I said, I used up 11 foundations this year for a grand total of $325.96. A large chunk of that came from that Giorgio Armani foundation. So I'm curious to see next year how much my total value of foundation is going to be, especially as I find myself reaching more and more for drugstore foundations. So that is going to be an interesting one. I only finished off 1 powder this year, and it was a loose powder. It was the Sonia Kashuk brightening powder, and you actually can't get this anymore. I picked this up at Target. It retailed for $12.99, and it's such a bummer you can't get this anymore because this is my favorite under eye setting powder of all time. It is so good, but you can't get it anymore. I finished off 6 sprays this year, finishing sprays. 2 of them are the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray, one of my all-time favorite setting sprays. It really truly does increase the longevity of wear for your foundation or for your overall makeup in general. Love this. Will definitely repurchase. Those retail for $32 a piece. I also finished off an Urban Decay Chill Setting Spray, which I'm not sure you can get anymore, but I also really do enjoy this setting spray more for just lighter coverage makeup days when I'm looking for just a burst of hydration after I do my makeup. Again, this retailed for $32. I also finished off a Pixie Glow Mist. This retails for $15. I already have another one of these in my collection. This one you have to be careful with because you can end up looking a little bit too glowy in my opinion, but this is really nice if you're looking for a Tatcha Dewy Skin Mist dupe and you're looking for something that's really going to make your skin look super dewy. This is a really good option. I don't know if I said already, but I do already have another one of these in my collection. I also finished off the Philosophy Renewed Hope in a Jar. This is just a hydrating mist. Sometimes I would use this just in the middle of my makeup routine just to really set my powders in. This retails for $30. Definitely won't repurchase this. It smelled really nice, but just not a necessity or not one that I loved so much that I feel the need to go get it again. And then also the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. This retails for $15. I liked this. I don't love it the way everyone else does. I feel like I prefer the Ofra Makeup Fixer Mist to this, and I feel like you get more in that one, but not a bad setting spray. I would consider repurchasing this, but just not super in love like everyone else seems to be. So I finished off a total of 6 sprays for a total of $156. On to concealer, I finished off 5 different concealers. The first was the Maybelline Instant Rewind. This retails for $9.99. I didn't have much of this going into 2018, so this wasn't hard to finish. It's been a while since I've used this. I really kind of want to pick another one of these up because I did really like this, or I remember really liking this. But I have other concealers in my collection I want to get through before I do that. I also finished off my Becca Secret Under Eye Brightening Color Corrector, whatever they call this. This is like my 3rd one of these. I love this. I'm definitely going to be picking up another one of these. These retail for $32, which is a little bit pricey, but it's so emollient and so hydrating and just perfect for brightening underneath the eyes. I love this, and I feel like I will forever repurchase this. I have never found a brightening concealer that I like better than this for brightening underneath eyes. This is phenomenal. It took me forever, but I also finished off the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Aqua Sealer. I didn't really care for this much, but boy was I determined to finish this. I had this going in a project pan. Yes, I did. So that was like really encouraging me to use this. I definitely will not repurchase this. I found that it really irritates underneath my eyes if I use this pretty consistently. Sometimes it feels like it almost like is burning underneath my eyes, which is not a good situation. So wouldn't recommend, won't repurchase. But this retails for $26. This one also took me forever. This is the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. This is the Naturally Radiant one. This was okay. Not my favorite, not my least favorite. Won't repurchase. There's definitely concealers that I prefer over this one, but this lasted me a super long time. Like we're talking like 7 or 8 months. So you definitely get your money's worth out of this one. I think this one is $28. But again, it lasts forever. So this was well worth the money, just not one that I loved enough to repurchase. And then finally, I also finished off a Naked Skin Weightless Complete Concealer. I also own another one of these. I've since purchasing the other one that I have in my collection, I've come to find other concealers that I prefer over this one. This used to be an all-time favorite of mine. So I think once I finish this next one, then I'll kind of be done with the Naked Skin concealer. But not a bad concealer, just have found ones that I prefer over this one. And I think this one retails for $29. As far as like eyeshadow primers or eyes or like eyeshadow or anything like that is concerned, the only thing I really finished up this year was my MAC Painterly Paint Pot. This retails for $22. I forgot to mention, you guys, if I was just decluttering an item, I didn't obviously include that in my empties. Like this is like empties, like stuff that I've actually like completely used up and gotten like the actual value out of. But I finished off my MAC Painterly Paint Pot. This had been in my collection way too long. We're talking like probably like 4 to 5 years. So well past expiration. I'm glad I was able to finish it. I personally just prefer to use like whatever concealer I'm using underneath my eyes to like use on my eyelids as an eyeshadow primer. Maybe I would have better luck with my eyeshadow in general if I used an actual eyeshadow primer, but for me, I don't think I will be repurchasing this anytime soon. It's a great eyeshadow base, but I just don't feel the need for it in my collection right now. As far as lips are concerned, pretty much just balms, and then I have this mini Tarte H2O lip gloss. This came in one of the Sephora favorites sets, so I counted the value of this as $5.60, which was the value of the actual like kit, $28 divided by 5 lip products total, if you get my drift on the math there. I also finished off this Honey Trap lip balm by Lush, which I really love. I need to pick another one of these up. These are really nice. The only thing that's annoying about it is that it's potted. I hate potted lip balms, but this one's so good, so hydrating on the lips. Would definitely repurchase. This retails for $10.99. I also finished off a Bite Agave Bite Agave mask, $26 retail value. This was the like pink champagne sort of shade. I really like the lavender one. I'm using that one right now, or just the original. I have the maple too. I have an obsession with the Bite Beauty lip masks, if you couldn't tell. And I lost my maple at work, which is so sad because I liked the tint that gave to the lips, and it actually did taste like maple syrup. And then finally, I finished off a Fresh Sugar lip balm. I feel like I finished off more than these, but this is the only one I have to show you. These retail for $26. These go so quickly. I used one of these up in like 3 weeks, which is such a shame. If they lasted longer, I would purchase them more often because it's such a nice treatment for the lips, but it's just so expensive and it goes so quick. So then for lips, I used a total of 4 products up for $68.59. Alright, you guys, so then I have 8 mascaras. I use so much mascara. I feel like I've lost a couple of these, and there's definitely some that I decluttered in the like beginning of the year to like when I started. I would have definitely had more mascara, but I have 2 of the CoverGirl Clump Crushers. This is one of my favorite mascaras as like a first step sort of priming type of mascara. These retail for $7.99. Really enjoy, would definitely repurchase, but I have such a large mascara collection due to like the amount of mascara that I get in like my subscription service boxes that I just can't justify buying a mascara right now. And then I also finished off a L'Oreal Lash Paradise. I really liked this. The first tube I went through, and then the second tube wasn't as big of a fan. This retails for $9.99. Okay, I know I had more Essence mascaras, but here are 2 of them. These retail for $4.99. I really enjoy... Everyone loves the green one, and I feel like I enjoy the pink one more. It's a toss-up though. Both are really good mascaras. I just tried the Essence I Heart Extreme Volumizing Mascara, and I actually had to declutter that because that one irritated my eyes, but the Lash Princess is really good. I also finished off an Urban Decay Perversion Mascara. This retails for $24, so this is super expensive. I love this mascara. It's really, really good, but I just cannot justify spending $24 on a mascara, so I won't be doing that, but I did love using this. I just finished off my Tarteiste mascara. I got this in some sort of subscription box. This again was good as like a first step priming mascara for me. Definitely not a favorite of mine. If I got another one in a subscription box, I would use it, but definitely like wouldn't go repurchase it myself. This retails for $23 too. So like again, I just cannot justify spending more than like $10 on a mascara. And then finally, I have my L'Oreal Voluminous Original. It's been a while since I've used this mascara, but I forgot, like as I was pulling my mascaras out, or all my empties rather, I remembered how much I used to love this mascara. This is such a good mascara. It does such a nice job of like volumizing your lashes, so I definitely want to pick this one up. But again, I just have so much mascara in my collection right now. I don't need to be running out to do that right away. This one retails for $7.99, so I used up a total of 8 mascaras for a total of $95.93. Okay, so I did my math wrong, and I didn't use over $1,000 worth of makeup, but I was pretty darn close. So for everything, my grand total of what I used up from about March or April to the end of the year was $919.45. Really, really exciting. I'm hoping to use over $1,000 worth of makeup next year because again, one of my goals next year is to get a lot more use out of the collection that I already own and sort of buy or spend less on makeup just so I can start to like really cycle through and curate my collection a little bit more. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. You'll have to let me know what products you used up this past year and what your makeup goals are for 2019. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, don't forget to do so before you go, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye!